My name is Roberto Cruz. I'm the managing attorney for the Southeast Office of Latino Justice. We're located in Orlando, Florida. And I've been a public interest lawyer for the past 20 years and an attorney for the past 25. And work that I do for Latino Justice is one of the most fulfilling work that I've been able to engage in. I was born in Puerto Rico. My family has traveled all over the world, and I've had the opportunity to visit other countries with them, either for work or for entertainment. And what makes me proud of my heritage is the fact that our culture is a mix of all those places that I have been fortunate to visit. So we got our history from Spain. We have some of our dishes and ceremonies and folklore from Africa. We also have some festivities and traditions and language from our indigenous Taino people. And because of our location, we've gotten immigrants from all over the world, parts of Europe, parts of Asia, and Africa, and all the continents. And it makes me very proud to belong to an island continent that is so rich with culture and traditions. When I was about 6 years old, my mother, who's also an attorney, got the opportunity to work in Spain. Why Spain? Well, because during the Spanish colonization of the island, the property registry records were not held in the island, but were held in Spain. So if you wanted to look for a title, you couldn't just go to the Puerto Rico registry, you had to go to Spain. So being Puerto Rican in Spain is very interesting because we all know about Spain, but Spain doesn't know about us. So that was my first impression, going to grade school and having that same question asked, where are you from? And me answering, I'm from Puerto Rico. And nobody in the class knowing, even the teacher, where that was. So it was good for me to introduce my culture to my fellow classmates and my teachers. What I would like the world to know about Puerto Rico is that we are a very inviting island, that we welcome you, that we cherish you, that we want to make sure that you, when you visit, that you know not only the more touristy places that everybody goes to, but just to get to know the people, get to know the places, the culture, outside the capital and outside the beaches. Because it really is a continent in a small island. You can visit some of the dry forests, and you can also visit a lush tropical forest, and they're just like 3 hours away. So it's a great place to enjoy life, and that's why we have to protect those natural resources. So please visit, enjoy it, and just pick up after yourself. That's all. When I graduated from law school, my first job was as a government attorney with the island's Department of Justice. And I was lucky enough to be assigned to the public interest section of the department, where I dealt with some constitutional law issues. I was lucky enough to see issues that had to do with grandparent rights, with environmental law, with issues of voting rights. One of the voting rights cases went up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and I wasn't even 30 years old. So it was a very intense schooling for me, and my love for government policy and making real change through peaceful means was born out of my experience as a government attorney with the island. After my stint with the government, as I was married, and my wife and I had a child, my child was diagnosed with autism. At the time, I was working in a big law firm representing Fortune 100 clients, but the news of having a child with a disability definitely changes priorities. So from being a very ambitious commercial litigator, I dedicated my life to public interest because I wanted to learn how to help my son take care of himself. We decided to leave the island because my work as a government lawyer also gave me the opportunity to represent the state in issues that had to do with special education and disability rights. So I knew the limits that the government of Puerto Rico had in terms of providing for residents. One of the matters was just decided by the U.S. Supreme Court recently regarding the rights of people with disabilities to get Social Security income, or SSI. Because we knew of some of the obstacles that Puerto Ricans with disabilities face in the island, we decided to migrate to the United States. And we chose Florida. Florida welcomed us with open arms. Florida has great facilities for people with disabilities and children. We were able to get public benefits for him. We were also able to get educational services through the school system. It wasn't easy, always. We had to fight the school, and yes, we had to fight the state of Florida in order to secure the rights for our son. But lo and behold, he is now 21 years old, and he is living in a group home. Very happy with his situation. Something that unfortunately would not be attained in Puerto Rico due to its political status and lack of access to the same public benefits that U.S. citizens have here in the mainland United States. If we look at some of the most recent decisions from the United States Supreme Court, especially in the insular cases, you will see that residents of the island do not have the same access to public benefits as people in the mainland United States. For instance, if you are a resident in New York State and you get SSI benefits, and for some reason you decide to return to Puerto Rico, just because you moved from the mainland United States to the island of Puerto Rico, you're going to lose your SSI benefits. Medicare. If you are a resident of a state like Florida that has the Med waiver and allows for a child with a disability to live in the community or in his, her, or their own home, then you will be dumbfounded by the fact that just because you can live at home or in your community with the Maine waiver in Florida doesn't mean that you can have the same benefits in the island of Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico does not have the Maine waiver. And that's why, as recently as last week, we received a news report that a 90-year-old parent of a 50-year-old a daughter with autism passed away. The 50-year-old daughter sat next to the mother for 5 days without eating, drinking, or doing anything, thinking that her mother was just sleeping. Because there's no Met waiver in the island, the 50-year-old was taken away and put in an institution, which is something that we know is not necessarily the best placement for somebody with a developmental disability. We have moved out of institutions and welcomed our people with disabilities to our home and communities, but our political status and our situation not permit for that to happen to the residents of the island. So a lot of people, like myself, have made the decision for our children's sake to move to the United States, and again, with welcome arms. However, there is such a thing as a right of return that a lot of people would like to take part and cannot. At Latino Justice, we have 6 different pillars that we support. One of those pillars is the Puerto Rico pillar. And the goal of the pillar is just to make sure that people in Puerto Rico have equal access to the same rights and privileges that all citizens have, regardless of where they live. The decolonization of the island, the use of political power over a people, the utilization of their resources just for economic gains, and the control of government affairs without the will of the people are some of the issues that we tackle on here at Latino Justice. When it comes to public benefits, in 2023, one of our goals is just to make sure that we bridge the gap between the benefits that citizens get in the mainland United States as compared to the residents of Puerto Rico. Make sure that there is no unequal treatment between the same people that live in the island or in the mainland United States. My hopes and dreams for the future of Puerto Rico is that we get to select by ourselves our destination. So self-determination accomplished is my dream. I want the people of Puerto Rico to select the form of government of their choice and to enjoy the freedom that it so deserves. For me, to be Puerto Rican is to be part of a people that are very proud of their heritage, folklore, culture. It's being a member of a people that have a homeland in the island of Puerto Rico, but it's a community that is spread worldwide. And wherever I go, I'll always find somebody from my community that will always open their arms to me and say hola. So that's what being Puerto Rican means to me, a sense of belonging to a very happy and generous people.